You are watching the Love and Money show, and I have a very special guest today, Jimmy. Thank you for being on the show.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I'd like to start out by asking you to tell us who you are and what do you do.
Yeah, so I am the co-founder of a real estate investing app called Cloud Castles. And what we do at Cloud Castles is help people with little time and more importantly with little money be able to break into the real estate space and build their wealth through what we call snackable shares. So instead of you having to spend 10,000, 50,000, $100,000 to buy a rental property, with us, we've already done all that hard work, and then you can come in and own one share, which is equal to as little as $16, and you can invest however little or much you want. So it's a new way to own real estate. It's one where we started in Tahoe, and we've since built out properties in Miami and also Smoky Mountains and soon Disney World. So we're really excited for the future growth and couldn't have done it without our retail investors who have also enjoyed what we've offered them along the way.
Okay, Jimmy. Um, so what is your background?
I come from the a sales background and also a tech background. My co-founder and I, we both had the tech background that we brought into the real estate space. And really, it comes with first principles thinking because we don't want to just assume that there's a certain right way of doing it. We want to actually start from the ground up. And that's how we came up with the concept because we thought it's a broken system where only the rich get to build their wealth through real estate. And that's why we wanted to change what we're doing here at Cloud Castles and help more people break into the space.
Okay. Um, so let's talk more about Cloud Castles. Can you tell us about the app and what it is?
Yes, we have an iOS app. Very, very soon, we should be launching Android app. So within the next couple of weeks here. But the idea is simple. Within 10 minutes, you can download our app, choose a property that you like, choose how much you want to invest, and then you own a portion of this real estate. So we'll put you on an LLC. So this is legal. We're not going to run off to Vegas with your money here. And that way you get all the benefits of owning real estate. So you get profit participation every single month that we get a profit, you get paid out the next month, you can cash it out to your bank of choice. You also get tax benefits. So we'll send you a K1 every single year. And you also get the ability to stay in the property at a discounted rate. So unlike a long-term rental where there's a tenant inside of our properties, we focus on Airbnb and Vrbo and the like. So whenever the property is not being rented out, you can go there at a discounted price because you're one of the owners of the property. So you get a lot of benefits instead of having to worry about running this all yourself because we're running the properties for you.
Okay. So just so people get a clearer idea, this is like an investing platform, like
Mhm.
similar to Fundrise.
That's right. Just focus on the short-term rental space and with a lot more frequent payouts. Because if you were asking me, I wouldn't want to wait 3 months just
Okay.
to get paid out. Probably would prefer to get paid out every single month if there's a profit. So that's what we promise all of our retail investors.
Okay. Sounds good. So the payout is every month, you said?
Every month there's a profit. And that's another benefit. If there's not a profit, you don't have to put extra money into this. So
Okay.
us as cloud castles, we will cover any losses as part of our model in running the business on your behalf. So it really is while you sleep, you get to build your wealth through this passive income stream that we're helping provide for all of our investors.
Okay. What is the percentage split?
Really depends. The one share is equal to one out of 10,000 shares. So 0.01%. If you just had enough money for one share instead of buying that Starbucks coffee, let's say you wanted to go own a piece of real estate, you can do so. If you wanted to drop $10,000 on a property, depending on the share price, you can also do that. So it really just depends on how much you want to own in a property. And so if you end up investing in, let's call it 5%, then now you own 5% of this property and you get 5% of any profits. And if we ever sell the property, then you also get 5% of the payout there.
Okay, Jimmy. And so these are Airbnbs, correct?
That's right.
And could you talk about the areas that you invest in? I know you had mentioned some earlier.
Mhm. Yeah, we started in Tahoe, and it's actually a crazy story because when we first were going to launch Cloud Castles, it was March of 2020, which for your listeners and yourself, I'm sure you'll remember what time period that was when
Yeah.
the world turned upside down. And we put an offer on a property near Disney World, and the very next week, everything went to hell. So we had to scramble and figure out where are we actually going to be able to build this business, because we focus on Airbnbs and short-term rentals for a reason. What we found is that at that time, and really still to this day, people were still traveling. They just weren't getting on planes to do it. So it had to be something within driving distance. And that's where we found Lake Tahoe, because my co-founder and I are both from the Bay Area. So it's a region that's about 3 hours outside of the Bay Area.
Okay.
And people were going there consistently throughout the pandemic. So we ended up getting our first property there, did really well. First year, hit over 20% cash on cash return. And then from there, we were able to buy a property in Miami that fortunately is sold out. So we're thinking about trying to get another one here for new investors. And we were able to also get a property in Smoky Mountains, which that was a Burr property. If you want to go into those details, we can. And then we're under contract for a property near Disney World. We did eventually come back around to Disney World, and we're excited because we're hoping to launch that around June this year.
Okay. That's impressive, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you.
And so, as far as this investing platform goes, how do you actually build one of these platforms for somebody who's interested in doing that?
Well, you have to know how to code, and that is not my strong suit. So that is where if you don't know how to do something, go find somebody else that has the skill set that you need to succeed. My co-founder has the technical chops. He built our app from the ground up. And that's even beyond just Cloudcastle in general. If you have a business idea and you don't know how to do it on your own, go partner with somebody that can help you build out your dreams. So we were able to partner up, and took a little bit of time, but built the app that anyone can go on the app store and download right now.
Okay, that's interesting. Um, so, Jimmy, I just want to talk a little bit about Airbnb. Why did you decide Airbnb over the other kinds of real estate that you can get into?
It's a good question. Couple of reasons. At the top of the list is definitely cash flow. We're not in this to get rich when we're 83. That's too long to wait for financial freedom. So as we were looking at this industry, we tried to figure out what's the best long-term play that investors can get behind. And what we saw is that in the short-term rental space for Airbnbs, if you know what you're doing when it comes to renovation and listing and management, then you can achieve 15, 25, 35, some people even doing 60+% cash on cash return every single year in and year out. And that was exciting to us. And the other piece of why we chose short-term rentals is just the ability to be able to stay in your property. We originally thought that the market that we were going to go after was timeshares. We figured out pretty quickly that's a terrible market, and there's a lot of reasons why. So for us, we switched over to think, okay, this is still a good market to be in, but where are more people putting their money? And that's where we landed on short-term rentals, because it is an actual investment and you get to stay at your property when somebody else is not.
Okay, all right. So, Jimmy, what is your favorite book or some book recommendations?
Yes, in the real estate space, I would definitely say Rich Dad Poor Dad. Everybody read that book. If you haven't, it is a classic, and it will change mindset, because that's one of the biggest things that people need to have to be able to realize that me just accepting a 9 to 5 paycheck by itself is not going to help me achieve financial freedom. Rich Dad Poor Dad was that book that helped me figure that out. And even beyond real estate, one of my favorite books of all time is Influence. So understanding psychology behind interactions with other human beings, which we do every single day. And Influence was a very interesting book because it opened my eyes to seeing how the world actually works when you understand what are the psychological influences at play in terms of how certain people are successful in their field. So I'd recommend that book. And as you can probably guess, the theme here is mindset. So I'm a big believer in if you have a good solid mindset towards what you want to accomplish in life, you can go pretty far.
Okay. Yeah, that's a book that everybody says, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Hmm. It's
Uh,
a great book.
yeah,
If you can't knock it if it's working right.
right. And then Influence, I haven't heard of that. I have to check that book out.
Hmm.
Okay, Jimmy. So I'm going to switch over to the love department. This
Oh, okay. Here we go.
this is a
I'm
love and
ready.
money show. So, Jimmy, are you single or married?
I am married, as you see, why this wonderful ring on my finger here.
Okay. So, Jimmy, tell us one thing you learned about money when it comes to relationships that could help somebody else.
Communication. You have to be on the same page if you are going to be in a relationship, and money is a huge part of that. And it goes from everything to your bank account, because I know certain couples have split bank accounts. We share a bank account as a couple. It goes towards your job. And when I started out in my relationship, I was willing to move to a new city because my girlfriend at the time was able to get a job in that city, and I had to make that decision. Is this going to be worth my time to try and find a new job? So communication in all aspects of your financial relationship with somebody else is huge, and you have to be on the same page or else it's not going to work.
Okay, communication. And I like how you expanded that to all areas of your life,
Hmm.
not just love, but the workplace. And
Oh yeah, yeah. If you are not on the same page, you're not going to have a relationship for very long, as I've found out.
okay. All right, Jimmy. And so, where can people find you if they want to reach out to you to learn more about Airbnb and to get on your investment platform?
Sure thing. You can download our app on the App Store. Just search Cloud Castles, and that's plural. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at cloudcastles.io. And if you want to reach out to me personally, Jimmy at cloudcastles.io is my email. I welcome any and all feedback here because I feel not enough people are in the real estate space. And that's our job at Cloud Castles, is to help people build their wealth instead of thinking that, oh, I have to be rich, I have to have a lot of money. No, you just have to find the right doorway in, and hopefully we can provide a doorway to more and more people here.
Okay. And the last question, did you have any last words to leave for the audience?
I say live your life to the fullest because it's too short. So if you are not happy in your current situation, job wise, money wise, love wise, it's not worth your extra stress that you put on top of your head to try and make something work that's not. So go out and find a way, and don't just take Jimmy's advice and now Jimmy's telling you, oh, I got to quit my job and break up with my girlfriend or boyfriend. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is figure out how to achieve less stress and more happiness in your life, without sacrificing everything to do so. So I think a lot of people are stuck and accept mediocrity, and hopefully people can get more in tune with what they want to be able to achieve freedom in as many different ways as you can here.
Okay. Get in tune with what you want.
That's right.
Okay.
Self-awareness. It's important.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you for being on the show and sharing your story.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.